Democrat cities have biggest homicide rate problem, study finds. Now, all this defund the police and all this other stuff is starting to blow back on Democrats. We see this now. They're trying to pretend like they never said defund the police now because the cities are being destroyed, and studies actually prove that it's the Democrat ran cities that's doing this. And like they love to say, trust the science. So we're going to trust this study that's basically show that they are destroying our cities and our country. But before we get started, go ahead and hit that like button, share this out so we can get this information out there. Subscribe if you're not already a subscriber, and hit that alarm bell so you know when I'm putting out new stuff. Also, check out my link tree in the description. It has a link to my Patreon where I talk about things I can't talk about here. There's also a link to my Instagram and my merch store. Also, check out my new website, jjthepsychotherapist.com, where I put out news throughout the week to keep you informed. All right, let's talk about this news. The Democrat Party aggressively promoted the idea of defunding the police after George Floyd was killed by a Minneapolis, Minnesota police officer in 2020, which was supposed to improve public safety. A few years later, a new study finds the homicide rate in Democrat cities is on the rise, and a sign progressive policies are failing. But I mean, we knew this was going to happen. I mean, the common sense would dictate that if you get rid of the police, crime will go up. But you can't use common sense when it comes to them. But in a study published by Wallet Hub, researchers found, quote, homicide rates have risen by an average of roughly 10% in 45 of the most populous U.S. cities between quarter 1, 2021 and quarter 2, 2023, and are still rising. So it's continued to climb. The cities with the biggest homicide rate problems include Memphis, Tennessee, New Orleans, Louisiana, Richmond, Virginia, Washington, D.C., and Detroit, Michigan. Democrat mayors lead all 5 cities. It's crazy. And I used to live out there near Richmond. Researchers pointed out that murders were rising faster in Democrat-led cities than Republican-led cities. Separately, Chidike Okeem, an assistant professor at Western New England University, told the New York Post that defunding the police movements directly correlates with the rise in violence. So we have scientific evidence. We have proof that defund the police does not work. In fact, it makes it worse for the country. But, quote, as a response to the social unrest, some officers have embraced depolicing, which is the idea of not engaging in proactive policing practices in order to avoid increased scrutiny and censure. Without pronounced police presence, violence proliferates, Okeem said. A University of Central Missouri professor, Greg Eder, went further and blamed no cash bail as a significant driver in alarming rise of homicide rates in the city. And of course, I mean, if you can murder someone and then get out of jail and be out on the streets the next day and be able to commit more crimes, I mean, of course crime is going to go up when that happens. And someone watched my video before and was like, "Oh, there's no one's getting out of murder the next day. What are you talking about? You're being hyperbolic." And then I went to actual articles that showed that people are raping people and murdering people and then getting out of prison the next day, jail the next day. This is actually happening because of the no bail system. But, quote, if you have a problem with police use of force in isolated instances, rather than deal with the problem or the problem officers, defund the police. This results in less effective police force, increased response time, lower police morale, and increasing unwillingness by the police to engage in proactive policing, Eder said. Again, this is common sense. We knew this was going to happen. And it's not just homicide rates that are moving higher. Retail thefts and carjackings are soaring. Democrats have yet to take accountability for their failed social justice reforms. As a result, businesses and people are quickly exiting these dangerous cities for safer places. They're moving to places like Florida in Texas where they actually they actually follow the law and have adequate policing. But let me know what you think. Leave your comments down below. Like, share, and subscribe. And check out democrepublics.com and jjthepsychotherapist.com for the latest in news. Until next time, peace.